So, show of hands really quick. How many of you are content creators part-time only? So just raise your hands. Okay. And how many of you are content creators full-time? All right. So for those of you who didn't raise their hands that second time, just quickly shout out what's holding you back from doing this full-time right now?
Fear.
Fear, okay. Money. Money's a good one. Anything else?
Inspiration.
Inspiration. All right. So I'm going to start with a popular example, Twitch. So for those of you who don't know, the esports industry is very close, or is probably already there by the end of the year, to become a $1 billion industry. The top 10 Twitch streamers all have one thing in common, and that's this: merch, 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 and more merch. But merchandising is not, their merch is not their only source of revenue. Obviously, they've got their Twitch income, they've got ads, they've got donations, but this is a passive source of income. This is an additional revenue stream that they have just in case something happens. So let's talk about that. So the first example we have up top is what you're probably already doing, right? You're creating some content, and whatever input you put out, whatever you put in, that's what you get in terms of results. So if you crank up that content creation, you're posting a video every single day, you're probably gonna grow your user base and you're gonna make more money. But let's say you get sick, family happens, things happen. This isn't a regular job. You can't take sick days. So if something happens and that was your only source of income, that drops. Which is why you really want to diversify and have multiple streams. And merch is just one of the possibilities out there for you. So we're going to talk about getting started with print on demand. So really quickly, this presentation, we're going to be going over what is print on demand and how it works, the advantages of using print on demand as a way to create your merch, and lastly, just provide some useful tips and tricks on how to set up using Printful, which is one of the apps that you can use on Shopify to do print on demand. So meet the Bad Dads Club. This is a Los Angeles-based clothing company. Why did they start? After becoming a father, Cody realized, hey, there's not a lot of clothing and merch for people like me. So he decided to start his own brand. Print on demand is a pay-per-product type model. So you're only paying every single time a product is produced and shipped. When your customer orders a product, the provider will print the product, fulfill it, and ship it to them. So you don't have to worry, and in this case, Cody doesn't have to worry about holding all that inventory. It reduces the upfront cost, so you don't have to worry about finding suppliers, stocking up, and filling your whole home with boxes all over your living room. And the great thing about print on demand is once you set it up, it's a passive source of income. You don't have to be hands-on, especially if you're using a model using an app like Printful. The customers order from your store, and they take care of the rest. So the advantages of using this is, again, you're going to market faster, you're reducing the barrier to entry through the cost, and you have that flexibility of adding products slowly as well. So another great example is passion fruit. You might have seen one of their shirts actually worn on Saturday Night Live by Don Cheadle. It was Protect Trans Kids shirt. So their brand is all about promoting, supporting the LGBTQ+ community. So Liz started this brand, and this is based in Toronto, really as a side hustle. The story is really, she wanted to buy a dog, a specific breed. I believe it was a French bulldog. So to save up that money, she was like, okay, I need a side hustle, and decided to do this. And this was one of the fastest and easiest way for her to get started, while also supporting a cause that's close to her. So let's dive into it. So how are you going to set up a store, and what do you need to get started? So the first thing usually is finding your niche, right? And if you're a content creator, if you're creative, you already have your audience, so you don't have to worry about that as much. But usually that's the first step, is figuring out who you want to sell to. In this case, you probably already have the who, but it's trying to figure out what they actually want to buy from you. Are they interested in shirts? Is it hats? Maybe that kind of merch isn't for you, right? It might be selling a service, providing a service, for example. So when you have your products, usually you start with a blank canvas. Right? So the print on demand offers a variety of products you can choose from. They can be socks, hats, t-shirts, bags, etc. It really depends on the provider. And Printful, as an example, has a vast array of products you can choose from. So the way the design works and the content guidelines are pretty damn simple. So the first thing you want to do, if you haven't done something like this before, is start with a mood board. Mood boards are something like this. It's your inspiration. What is the vision? What is the artistic direction of your products? The reason why you want to do this, and here's another example, you're just using Pinterest. So you can use Pinterest otherwise if you want this. Like, I've used Google Docs, honestly. But once you create a mood board, it's easier for you to, again, have that vision. So when if you need to go and hire an external designer, they'll be able to execute on your vision a lot faster. It saves that back and forth, and it saves you a lot of money and time. When you're trying to find a designer, a couple of tricks, things to think about. So designers, like all freelancers, it's almost like you're hiring a contractor for your house. Don't go in there saying, I don't have a budget. That's the worst thing you can do. Have a budget in mind. Think about, again, have that mood board so they know exactly what you need to produce for them. So it might be a logo, might be a couple of designs for t-shirts. Come in prepared. There's tons of places you can go find freelancers. So you can find Shopify experts that are specialized in designs. You can go to websites like Dribbble, Upwork, etc., Fiverr, and find people there, or ask your friends and family. Honestly, sometimes it's as easy as just posting on Instagram or Facebook, I need a designer, and I bet you anything, especially in a city like Montreal, you'll have hundreds of people knocking at your door. So in terms of the file formats, when you're talking about print on demand, you're often going to hear the term DPI, and that's dots per inch. Better the DPI, better the quality. And Printful, as an example, they usually want you to have 150 DPI. And in terms of the image files, it's usually a PNG or JPEG. Anything else will kind of distort the quality of the image. So usually you want a transparent image because, again, keep in mind you're putting this on a shirt or whatever kind of product, and the color of that product might vary. So you want to make sure you're testing it on a grid like this, and maybe even use another shape behind it to make sure it's actually coming out transparent. Next is fabrics. So a lot of these providers, let's say you want to sell a t-shirt, they're going to give you tons of options. You want a Gildan shirt, you want an American Apparel shirt, you want a cotton blend, polyester, you decide. Now that choice is going to impact the cost of your product because the way it works is after you add your design and you're able to select the fabric for the print, that will change the cost. You'll be able to see maybe, okay, the cost per shirt is $12.50 if I choose this Gildan shirt, but if I choose this higher quality American Apparel shirt, it's going to be maybe $15 per shirt. And then that's going to impact how you set the prices afterwards on your store. And you can do all of that through the Printful app. So once you select your products, it'll show you the cost of manufacturing it, plus the fee that Printful takes for fulfilling and making everything. And then you can select your price, and it automatically gets uploaded to your Shopify store once you click go. So the next important thing is quality control. Because remember, the beauty of this is you don't have to store your inventory, but that's also a risk, potential risk, if you've never seen your inventory. So it's extremely important to order some samples for yourself. So within Printful, for example, you can set the price to 0. There's tons of ways to do this, which I can go, if you come see me after, I can explain in further detail. But you can send yourself a couple of samples of your products so you can see, okay, how did this come out? That way you can see quality control in terms of the actual product, but also shipping time to see, hey, how fast is this actually going to get to my customers if they're in this geographical area? In terms of print methods, there's a couple. The main one is print to garment. So this is the most popular one. And this is usually used, again, because it's really cheap, it's easy to get started, and the only downside is it's not made for bulk orders. So when you're getting started and you're really building up your merchandise, your merch, this is a great option. But as soon as you need to start doing large bulk orders, like really big orders, you're probably going to want to switch to screen printing, which is a different method. This one is a bit more labor intensive at the beginning because it requires you to work with Printful really to figure out the designs. You're a bit more limited in terms of the choices of the color, but they can produce larger orders. But again, there's usually a higher investment up front in terms of time and money. And then the last one is sublimation printing. So this one you've probably done it at home. You've probably seen YouTube videos about this. This is when you're printing by transferring an image from paper using heat. So really quick, we're just going to go through some resources and tools that you can use. So Cashful, an app by Shopify, allows you to create some very basic logos and designs. this is something, honestly, just to get you started. I know a couple of folks, one of our product managers in San Francisco, his New Year's resolution was to start a store, so he just made a logo really quick, threw up a store, and it's just passively running. And then after he had more time, he decided to design his some better logos, but this is something just to get you started off in. We also have Burst. This is baked into Shopify as well, but it's also a standalone platform that allows you to find amazing stock photography to use for the design of your website where you're going to be selling your Burst. And you're going to be able to find seasonal pictures, pictures for different themes and occasions that you can use on your store. There's also the Shopify Help Center, where you have articles specific to print on demand, drop printing, those kind of things. Even questions about your actual store, so anything around when you want to sell regular products as well. Our support team is available 24/7 via phone calls, live chat, email support, as well as social media. And they're also available in French by email and social if you need that support as well. Lastly, right here in this office, we have Shop Class sessions. This happens once a month. The next one is actually June 12th, and you can register by going to just Googling Shop Class. It'll pop up, and it's absolutely free. This is for people who are new to Shopify, who are interested in getting started, or who've had a store for a bit but haven't launched yet. And what we do is usually have a presentation followed by more networking, and our support staff will actually be in person, so you can book some 25-minute time slots to talk with them. And the topic for next one is sell anywhere. So the beauty of a platform like Shopify is it's multi-channel, allows you to sell anywhere. So yes, you have your online store, but let's say you have a meet and greet, you can sell merch in person like the pop-ups here. You can sell directly on social media. So if you're an Instagram influencer, you're using Snapchat, you can sell directly to your audience where they are. There's Shopify Academy, so if you want to get deeper into print on demand, there's actually a whole course on that topic, as well as things like product photography, how to turn your hobby into a business. For those of you where merch might not be the option for you, but you actually have a product, be it your art, you want to sell some prints, maybe it's a service, you want to teach a class. There's tons of classes online that's free, so you just need to create an account. There's no credit card or that kind of information that you take it, and you can go through some courses for free. There's also the blog where you can find tons of useful articles. And then lastly, if you do need help setting up your website, a lot of these big influencers sometimes will go to agencies or partners, which we have a lot of in Montreal. One of them actually helped build this store for, yeah, exactly. So one of them actually worked on building this store for Andy Mattress. So you've got some that work on large clients, some that work on small clients. The price varies, but similar to shopping for freelancers. Make sure you have a budget in mind and kind of a game plan, but then go check them out.